going on, guys? Victor here. In today's fillet video, I'm going to show you how to fillet up this gorgeous yellowfin tuna right here using our 8-inch Dextreme knife. So let's get started. The cool thing about this knife, it actually has a dual edge. If you guys look on the back of the blade here, I got a serrated side, and then I got my regular edge of your traditional fillet knife. So where this knife really shines, if you've ever filleted a tuna, you know that the outside of them can be kind of tough, just like a snapper scale or something. So I can actually use the edge, the back of this edge, the serrated side, to get through the tougher part of the tuna, around the pec fin, and it just helps in saving the edge of your knife. Always, if you've ever filleted a tuna, you know right here by his dorsal fin, there's this really it's almost like cartilage. So this serrated side is gonna go like butter right through it. So I'm just outlining our yellowfin right here, going all the way to the tuna's tail. Make a cut right here, down by the tail. What I find the easiest way to fillet a tuna, and this is not a speed video, I'm not showing off. I want you guys to have the best tools necessary to tackle tuna at home. I'm gonna take my knife and I'm gonna rest it on this tuna's spine right here. So I can really feel that my knife is on his bones, and I'm gonna work my way up from the tail to the head, just kind of pulling towards me, releasing that meat. And I'm going to continue to do this until I get to the tuna's backbone, or the center of the fish. Okay? If you kind of look in here, the tuna has his bloodline. Okay? If you go right along the center of that bloodline, you're going to be able to split this tuna into two loins. So watch this. I'm going to go right down the center, okay, all the way down to his tail, all the way down to the tail. So what that should have done is freed up the meat from right around the backbone, and I should be able to just slide this loin right off, just like so. We're just stuck a little bit right here, but look at that. Look at that gorgeous piece of yellowfin tuna. So if you can imagine, what I did is, here's his midline, right? The backbone. I went all the way to it. I cut right down the center of it, and I'm able to separate the loin. And it just makes it a little bit easier because tuna are kind of awkward. They're big and round. They got a raised backbone. So if you're just learning how to fillet tuna, I highly suggest you do this method where you kind of separate into separate loins. And now also what we've done is I can kind of fillet this tuna from the inside out now. So I can point the tip of my knife down on the other side of his backbone and kind of fillet it from the inside out. Just working from the inside out to the edge of our fish. And just like that, look. Beautiful. There's your bottom loin of your tuna, okay? You see how this tuna is not laying flat anymore because his body is just so round and awkward? I'm actually going to cut the head off of the tuna, and it's going to make it easier to fillet. So same thing, make that head cut, go around his pec fin, down to the belly, and you see I'm using the serrated side of the knife, not dulling my blade. I'm going to be able to just crack his backbone and his head. And look, now I can get rid of the head, which is making it really awkward to fillet. Now my fish is going to lay flat. So now look at how nice and pretty this is. It's laying flat like a snapper or grouper would. And this trick becomes more and more important as you deal with bigger and bigger tuna. If you're starting to deal with 100-pound, 200-pound class fish, you can certainly fillet them with the head still attached, but I find it much easier to do it this way. You're going to get a better yield. You're going to make your life a lot easier. You take all the time to catch the fish. Take the time to prepare it properly. So once again, I'm using the serrated side of my knife, and we're going to work down the length of the fish. We're just making our initial outline right here, setting ourselves up for success all the way down to the tail. And just like last time, I'm going to separate this loin right down the center. And just like last time, I'm going to separate right down the center of the fish. You can imagine like a straight line going all the way to the center of the tail is where you want to be. And now we just got to go from the outside edge of the fish on the tuna's spine to its backbone. You take your time. It's not a race. Everyone is going to fillet at their own pace. The most important thing is that you respect the animal in which it deserves, so that way, you know, you can go home, feed your friends and family, and you know, get the maximum yield off of your fish. Okay, so ready for this reveal? Look at that. It is so much easier when you take the head off of your tuna. Look at how we really left nothing on that carcass right there. It's because I'm able to fillet my fish flat, which is always so much easier than trying to fillet at an angle. Now we've opened up the inside of the tuna, we can work from the inside out. Tip of my knife down on the other side of the backbone. Lifting with my left hand, lifting that loin up, and just freeing the meat from the fish's spine over and over again. Just nice and slow with the strokes. Okay, and there's your bottom loin of your yellowfin tuna with a little bit of the belly attached. You see that we left almost no meat on there, but if you really wanted to, the best thing to do with a tuna carcass, you come here with a spoon, you can scrape all this off, and that is the delicious parts of a spicy tuna roll, or you want to make it into a little spicy tuna poke bowl, you can just scrape the remaining meat off of the carcass. But that's pretty much what it looks like. So now what we got to do is, if you guys take a look, this real dark blood line right here, we're going to remove that, because this is a gamey part of the fish, and it can actually spoil your tuna, especially if you leave it in the fridge with this on. It's going to start to turn brown, and over an extended period of time, it's just not going to be very pleasant. So you can just kind of continue shaving this off until it's to your satisfaction, and you know there's not as much bloodline. Do a little bit more by the tail right here too. Rather than try to fillet this entire length of fish, I'm going to start right here in the middle of the fish. Okay, I'm going to go to the skin, and I'm going to rotate my fillet knife. I'm going to have my left hand trailing, but be observant, you do have another edge, and I'm just going to push away from me. You're going to see that this tuna is going to have no skin on the final product. Look at that. It's a neat little trick you guys can utilize with pretty much any long fish if you don't want to fillet the entire or skin the entire length of it, because you're just going to have more room for error. Just do it in sections. Work down the length of the fish. And another thing, we never let our saltwater fish touch the freshwater table or the freshwater on the table or any of the guts. If you have to, always set it back on the skin. But for example, you know, this piece right here is ready to be bagged up. So as soon as it's off of the skin, it's going straight into a bag. I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you guys are interested in the knife I used today, perfect all-around knife, because you got that serrated side, you got your traditional blade, good for grouper, good for snapper, and as you can see, perfect for tuna. I'll have it linked below for you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.